it's Jim Venice, bright and early on a Sunday morning rest day. This is a recovery and pump day for me. Just finished the Boston Pro. We did a great job. The condition was really spot on, and then it was just a great experience altogether. Carly and I went out there to Long Island in Boston. Check out the YouTube, you'll see those videos coming soon. But today, we're gonna work mobility, my little Sunday morning mobility ritual. And I got some of my guys, Jesse and Charlie, and of course, Carly's here too. We're gonna go through some of the stretches I do every morning, before every workout really, but on Sundays I take extra time and just really make sure to stretch the whole body in one circuit and get ready. And then we do an arm pump, so you'll get to stick around for that. We're gonna start right now with Jesse on the pigeon. This is the first step. Now, I should say, before we stretch, I always recommend foam rolling the legs. You wanna foam roll the quads, IT band, and glutes, just to really kind of get blood moving through your legs before you stretch. Plus, remember, tendons and fascia kind of stick together. When that happens, stuff doesn't move right. So that's what we're just gonna make sure of, is that we move right. This is the first stretch. He is foam rolled. If you don't know how to foam roll and you know me, message me, I'll tell you. But you know, just roll those quads out, get everything rolling. Now, boom, this is the pigeon stretch. You can either use an incline bench or many other setups in the gym. I like this adductor machine because this thing moves up and down. But I start here because really it's the worst spot on me always. So it seems to be where I generally start, so I teach it this way. It's a game of 90-degree angles. You got 90 degrees here, 90 degrees foot, 90 degrees hip, all square, grab, and we're gonna twist our hip like we're swinging a baseball bat. And you're gonna feel it all through here, okay? Now remember, when we stretch, you go into the stretch, you exhale, you empty your stomach, and you squeeze. Only stretch to about 80%. Don't need to stretch super hard. You want to stretch, try to relax, and feel the muscle open up. That's the pigeon, both sides. Now this is a really famous bench because it used to be a leg extension and leg curl made by Joe Gold himself. I stretch on it every morning. One of my proudest accomplishments, even though it's not an accomplishment. So, hamstring. I like to use a big table because I can really pull on it. You're perfectly fine stretching your hamstrings on the floor. A lot of you guys will probably have way more mobility than me, but this is how I've really come up with my stretching methodology, so it's not difficult. It's not a pain in the ass to roll around on the floor. You can come in when you're tired in the morning, and as you're waking up drinking your coffee, throw your leg up on a bench, square your hips off, chest up, lean forward. Boom, and you'll just feel that pull. Always pay attention to the angle of your foot. You wanna make sure that your foot is flat, like it's up against the wall. You don't want it turned in, you don't want it turned out, because that just shows that shows alignment in our foot. So all angles. Now, on that same token, as you move your foot in this stretch, pulling it down this way, it's going to stretch more the outside of the hamstring. Opening up more, stretch the adductors and the inner thighs all the way down. I think it's really good to play with this. I always say, I tell my clients that stretching really tells you, it helps you get to know your body. And that's a big deal. It'll show you what parts of your legs tend to be tight. Let's switch legs, brother. It'll show you which part of your legs tend to be tight, which part of your legs tend to loosen up the best. It really does. And it changes the way I've trained. It changes the way I've done so much of this stuff. It's so important. Same thing, foot square. Notice the difference as you stretch, that when your back is rounded, you feel the stretch a little higher through here, and as you really arch your back, it'll really change the way that gets into the hamstring. All that stuff is important. Like I said, know the relationship, develop a relationship here with it. All right, next is the hips. And I'll go ahead and demonstrate the hips because I haven't stretched them yet. This, you gotta find something that's the right height. Pretty tall guy, I use the same Joe Gold bench. You might have to find something a little lower. This one's pretty big. You just kind of bring this foot up, and what I've found is I push on my knee with my elbow and then thrust my hip forward. And you want to feel that stretch from the knee to the crotch, right down in there. You know, push that open and go there. I found this one to be better. At first, I used to stretch the hips like this, like an open hamstring stretch, and then come down and feel the stretch that way. That one also is really nice. I mean, one day I'll do one day I'll do the other. With the open hip, you can really play around with the squeeze in your glutes and open, close, and just, again, you're just figuring out what's best for you in your stretching routine, pulling it open. I just really want to make this video to encourage people to, you know, open yourself up, and it'll help you with your training so much. All of my clients need to stretch. I've told you guys so many times, I finally made this video, no excuse anymore. Every gym has a stretching area. Every gym I ever go to, it takes me a little while to develop my stretching routine. However, this is how I do it here. Find your own spots. Sometimes you need different heights, and that's okay. Just be creative. So Jess, with that stretch for the quad, you're gonna face out away from the bench. Put one shoelace set up here. Good. There you go. Now, I like to have something to hold on to, so that's why I picked this spot, because you really want to be able to change your elevation with your knee and your hip position back and forth to really get that best stretch. So, just what we want to do first is stand up straight, chest up, and try to put your ass on your heel. Good. How's that feel? Good. So once you get a pretty good stretch and you can feel it from here to here, and again, everybody's gonna be different. And another note before I go into this, the reason we stretch hamstrings first is so that it is loose enough to let this quad stretch. A lot of times you come in, you try to stretch your quads with tight hamstrings, it's gonna cramp, you're screwed, you're not gonna get it. So stretch the hamstrings and the hips first. The quads seem to be best stretched last, in my opinion. Anyway, so what we're doing here, we're pushing back. Now, once you get that good stretch and you feel it from here to here, squeeze your glute right there. And notice that by squeezing your glute and hamstring, it stretches the quad more. Yeah, you feel that? Good. Now remember where our quads attach. The more we lean back, the more it opens up our abdomen, our psoas and all that stuff, obliques, intercostals. All that is getting stretched here. Now, to intensify the stretch on the second part, you can kind of come off, Jess, make sure you relax. Bring your foot forward a little bit more. And now we can control our elevation and drop this knee down, further pulling and higher into that thing. There, now once you get to a place where you feel like a comfortable stretch, go ahead and squeeze that glute, lean back, no, stay there. Squeeze that glute. Use your glute as like a lever, okay? Bam, it pulls. You powerfully squeeze that glute, it powerfully opens that quad. I took some yoga classes, didn't really like yoga. I just don't like rolling around on the floor. I don't like being that uncomfortable. I started using a band. And I started using a band, I think it was Bradley Martin that I saw doing it first. I don't know. I'm just trying to say I didn't come up with this like out of the thin air. I just seen everybody doing it and I like it, so I developed this. All right. Now we like to start with our lats, if we could. All right, so what we do here is, I always just like to lean back and take your hip as far away from your armpit as possible. And again, you can kind of play with that angle coming from up high, down low, and rotating that scapula around. But you just want to find the spot where you get the most stretch here, from here to here. And as we move through this, you can retract the scapula and let it go slowly, and you'll feel that band. Just let that band's tension pull that lat open. It's been the best way I've found to open my lats, and I always start here because it seems to take the pressure off that shoulder joint, so that when we turn around after and go for the chest, it's already open and hopefully sitting back far enough that we get the stretch through the chest. Now with this one here, Carly likes a more vertical arm, and that's fine. I tend to scan with it until I find the best stretch on the chest itself and not necessarily pulling on the shoulder. Now guys, if you're stretching this chest and you feel like you can't get the chest stretch and you got a sharp pain back here, it means your shoulder is out and you need to get it back in first. That's your subscapularis. And that's why the chest isn't stretching, because the shoulder's not in the right little. Once you get here, you want to step out just to where you're comfortable, lift your chest, and I kind of use my arm to push my chest up and rotate the shoulder back. This one will help your side tricep, I've been told, but I'm still working on my side tricep. Anyway, and the way you stretch this is kind of pulling that shoulder this way, and it's pulling all this neck this way, so it would look off. And let it open this up. Breathe as you do it. Just like that. And so that's what I'll do, and I will do that for each arm individually. Mobility is strength, and strength is longevity. Now that's from O'Hearn. Thanks for watching. Guys, What's up? All right, now we've started. Ever since I started the prep for Boston, one thing I really committed to myself was that I'd have all the little things that people tend to forget, or little things that you don't want to train. I made a commitment to myself to hit them all every day. And so we start every workout with lower back extensions, calves, and an abdominal of some kind. Today we're doing cable crunches. Like I said, we really made a commitment to do this every day. And I mean, sometimes your calves are sore because you train legs, but just do them light and move them. You know, don't allow yourself to make that excuse of, oh, I need a day off of that because of this. Or, you know, we've been doing everything every day. These little things, you don't go heavy enough to, like, especially like this lower back, okay? You're not going heavy enough to tax the muscle in your lower back, really. However, moving your lower back like this every day ensures that you can move your lower back like this every day. That's the important part about this. Going from lower back to abs, I mean, yeah, we put calves in the middle sometimes, but going lower back to abs, think about what that does, just moving your core to prepare your body for the workout that's ahead. I don't think I need any more actually. Handle I'm using, a lot of people like to use a rope. This handle I like because it allows the twist of the wrists as you crunch to really put the pressure where you want it. I really use them just like the stretching, more so. I mean, yes, it does what it's supposed to do physically, but for me it's really helped me to develop a relationship with my body, so I know what needs to come up, what needs to be stronger, what's the most efficient way, because you really are feeling all these different things and kind of with no resistance, no weight. It's a time for you and your body to be alone and just kind of think about training and move the way we need to move. That's why I'm always looking for the functional movements in this kind of stuff, because even though we're bodybuilders and we isolate our muscle, our body has to work the way the human body needs to work. And let's be real, it's a machine that works together sometimes. So even in order to isolate better, we must be able to stabilize more. Special treat. This is Frankie Cassavetes.
What's up, baby?
One thing that's, I think, is the most special thing about Gold's where we're at. I mean, you look on the walls, every single one of these guys on the walls train at this gym. Every single one of the guys on these walls knows this guy. He keeps me functioning, keeps me in shape, but it's, Frankie, how many years?
I've been here for 42 years. 42
years, okay? That's 42 years of experience with weightlifters and bodybuilders and athletes and the human body. 42 years. There are 10 with that amount of experience at this gym. This is where the best of the best have been since this was a thing. And this man embodies that. I just had to introduce everybody to him.
Thank you.
He's the best guy we know.
I know you're the best man. Thank you. Pleased to meet everyone.
Happy Sunday.